Okay, here we are at Tamiami Tap again.
Tamiami Tap.
We like it here.
Yeah, it's a cool little place in beautiful, sunny Sarasota, except for the rainy season.
Except for the last 3 days.
Noah has pulled up his ark and dropped off 2 sets of children.
Right, like I said, BYOB. Bring your own boat.
I like it.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about...
Whatever you want to talk about.
Mike Wallace is here, which I absolutely love.
Were you a big 60 Minutes fan of the day?
I was.
Who was he your favorite journalist out of all of those?
I don't know if I had a favorite. I just really loved watching it. And I remember coming away scared from it most of the time because you were hip to now, like...
Scared from 60 Minutes.
What was going on in the world, like, that you needed to be aware of.
Yeah,
you know?
it was
like,
Monsanto or something.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Like, I'm eating an apple. Am I going to die? You know?
Don't get your car fixed. These guys will screw you over.
Exactly.
Those undercover things.
But the documentary showed, like, how profound they actually were in, like, being renegades as far as, like, honest news.
Yes. Ahead of his time.
Yes.
Provocative. Handsome. Right?
Yeah.
Sharp. He had issues.
He did have issues. I thought it was a gorgeous portrayal of his life. I mean, in fact, you know, I was thinking about the other docs that I've seen about people's lives this year. Okay,
Right.
So there was Maria Callas. There was
Which I enjoyed very much.
Pavarotti.
Yes.
There was
2 opera stars.
Dr. Ruth. And this one, and I have to say, Dr. Ruth and this one rise above the rest because you saw how focused these people were, and you just love them because of their focus.
Yeah, I think I agree with your assessment there. I really love Dr. Ruth, and I'm going to see Mike Wallace is here. Is that the name?
Yeah.
Of it? I saw it at the film festival, opening night. I was a little distracted. It's too big a
Sure,
venue.
it's opening night. You can't.
I'd like to see it again, in
Yeah.
small, and just take my time because I love journalism, and he was one of my heroes.
Yeah.
Mike Wallace was my favorite. Morley Safer has a great line in there with him, a real honest line, where they're talking about each other, and he's saying, you know, he's pretty tough on Mike Wallace in a Morley Safer kind of way.
Right.
I thought that was beautiful. I think those guys were more fair than today's media. I think that those 60-minute guys were chasing the story.
They were chasing
where
the story.
Truth went.
Right. They weren't going in with like a bent or a subjective.
So if you didn't like, let's say, I'm just going to bring it out because he happens to be in this film.
Right.
Donald Trump is in this film.
Right.
So Donald Trump is a young man. He's a playboy. He's an entrepreneur. He's a real estate baron. And he's on there, and he's largely saying a lot of the same things
that he's
saying today and doing today.
Yeah.
And he's respected. He's got everybody's ear, and he's accepted. And those guys, Mike Wallace and that group, would go in and would do a fair interview, hard-hitting, but not piling on.
And here's the deal, okay? If somebody's really an idiot in real life, you don't have to be subjective about the story. You just have to let them talk. For instance, in the Mike Wallace doc, he interviews the KKK guy in his garb, full garb.
Oh, yes, that's a great point.
He doesn't even have to do any subjective. No. Just ask him questions.
Way, a real racist.
And it and it's revealed, right? I mean, like
a real racist.
Let the people decide. Let the audience decide what to think. You don't have to tell them what to think.
That's a great point.
I mean, that's the way journalism should be. And I swear, I am going to take a notebook and I'm going to do this because I'm a local news maven. Like, I love it. I don't know why. I just love to know what's going on. But it's not news anymore. And I'm going to start taking a list. What the story is, and is this news? Because it's not news. It's like Burger King has a new product. It's advertising a lot of it.
Yeah, but
or it's like some subjective story that's...
So the reason why this film...
It's not on the streets, right? I mean, it's not.
And Mike Wallace was always digging. He was always digging for that kernel of truth, and he didn't care who the person was, whether he was... Did he interview the Ayatollah?
Yes.
He walked into that...
And he even...
It was a scary interview.
He demanded, like, no, I need to have this question answered.
Yes.
Because the translator was like, oh, I can't answer.
Yeah, you can't answer, I'm going to behead you.
And I'm like, no, I got to know this. So, and he did it. It was cool.
No, what he had, and I'm going to say it, he had integrity, and I don't see a lot of it in the mainstream media. There's an agenda,
right?
And he would be tough on everybody he interviewed.
Exactly, equally.
And I got to tell you, and I know she's sick right now, and she's another icon, and I think she is the equivalent in a lot of ways to him in her own realm. The interview that she did to Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters is very sick right now.
Yeah.
And she's probably at her last few days. But I always liked Barbara Walters. By the way, as somebody else who interviewed Trump, very fair to him.
Right.
Not the piling on.
Right.
Not the, you mentioned the racist that's in the KKK.
Right.
Just because you throw things out, support it, vet it, and that film was...
Yeah.
So what was the magic of Mike Wallace? What made him a great journalist in your eyes?
I think that he just cared about honesty. That's the thing. He just cared about the truth. Just tell me the truth. And the irony is, as you know, in the doc, he wasn't honest about his trying to commit suicide.
That's the
he
fabulous.
He kept saying, no, I wouldn't.
That's the fabulous
And then he
twist
finally, morally goes, yeah, I tried.
Yeah, he says that. That's a big moment in the film.
It is.
That's not a spoiler by any means.
It's
really a moment of reflection and
honesty,
confession.
like with a friend. Like, yes. I can tell you finally because you're my friend.
And what a guy to tell, who's one of the hard-hitting guys. And it's a great moment.
It is a great moment.
It's a great moment. I give that. Well, what's your rating on it? Like 1 to 100? Do we do 1 to 100 here?
I'd say 99. I don't.
Oh, you loved it.
I really loved it.
So you're putting that. Did you love Dr. Ruth as much as that?
Yeah, I would say they're equal.
I gave Dr. Ruth 100. I don't often give hundreds out like that. I think this is a great film too. I give it like a 95.
And I think because both of those people have such focus in their lives as to what they wanted to do.
Yes.
That's the tribute. Like the other ones I mentioned that I saw about Maria Callas and Leonard Cohen. They're good, but I think those people change so much in their lifetime that it's hard to like. I mean, that's normal for people to change so much, but I think those people that are so piercingly like focused, like Ruth and Mike Wallace.
What about the Mr. Rogers film, the documentary? Since we're talking about documentaries in the last year and a half, how much did you think that was a great film?
I thought that was great. I don't know if. Was that last year or this year?
It was last year. But you know what I think is going to be problems is the Hanks movie to me. I don't think you can make a film that close to a documentary when you have the documentary that's so well received with the real guy. Tom Hanks, it's really a tough
It's sort of like
sell.
the RBG doc
Totally.
and the thing, whatever that was called.
Yeah,
You can't reinvent real life, right?
No. The doc is always more convincing. Although I didn't think RBG's doc was in the league of Ruth, Wallace.
I agree too. I think they could have done more. They didn't pierce the person. Like I got to know the person.
Yeah, there was a little. There's more depth in Ruth, and I think Wallace, you really get to know the vulnerability.
But you know what's funny? I listened to a podcast about the Mike Wallace doc, and they said they didn't really think Mike Wallace knew himself.
Yes.
Which, okay, but isn't that kind of cool that that's our whole life is trying to get to know ourselves?
Yes.
I mean, our brains are like so, I don't mean to sound like,
yes,
but we're so multi-dimensional.
Yes.
It takes a lifetime sometimes to know who you are.
Sure.
And then to be able to like communicate that the world, I don't know. It's pretty profound when you think about it.
No,
like
it's
who
true.
can do that?
No, and that's what was so captivating about that Mike Wallace. So Mike Wallace is here, is playing right now.
Yes, it burns.
See it. Thumbs up.
Definitely.
Giant thumbs up.
Huge thumbs up.
You like documentaries a lot.
I do.
Have you ever seen, and we're going to dovetail into arguably the greatest film of all time, and I could easily say greatest film of all time, Godfather, Godfather 2. They're right there. They're right there with Kane, with a lot of films.
Yes.
There's a documentary on the making of The Godfather.
Oh, I got to see it.
That's as good as The Godfather.
What's it called? Do you remember?
The Making of The Godfather. It's behind the scenes, and it's on the liner notes. It's on the package of the DVD. You can see it as an extra.
Okay.
And we're talking about The Godfather because The Godfather, we're going to be doing an event in Sarasota It's always a good time to talk about The Godfather, whether it's an event or not. Film Festival is doing a screening with some food, actually. There's going to be a little food there.
Oh, good.
And what I was going to tell you is...
the doc, or something about the doc?
The doc is fabulous, but the film is just... With each viewing, I've seen it 150 times, literally. And there's always something new. I know I say that. I played last night, my favorite scene, and there's 500 favorite scenes. Robert Towne wrote it. It's Pacino and Brando in the garden. And it's one of the greatest scenes in the history of...
The end with his grandson?
No, he's sitting and talking about wine and his regrets.
Oh, okay.
And the next scene after that is him in the...
I love that one with the grandson.
Oh, and the grandson is is a beautiful
it's
scene.
It's so natural.
That is so good. And when people, they beat up on Godfather 3... Godfather 3, not to spoiler alert, but Michael does not end well for Michael. Okay. And it's this Michael saga. The Godfather in 1 dies face up in the garden, playing with his grandson in the sun, planting tomatoes. His grandson feigning, like he's spraying him with the water. It looks like it's a Tommy gun. Right. It's like he's playing. It's almost like he's shooting. It's really symbolic, but he's with his grandson. His life is ended. Michael does not end that way. He ends down in the dirt, alone, in a barren area where there's no life. Wow. And that is one of the most poignant finishing of films that are literally 18 years apart, from 1 to 2 to 3. And the finishing of the story.
Okay, well, I've got to see it.
I know 3 gets beat up a lot. It doesn't deserve it because it's still a 92, 93. But the first 2 are equal. Okay. I don't separate them. I say they're the same movie because they're continuous. And everyone's wonderful. There's not a missed note. It's perfect cinema. It's a masterpiece. It's like criticizing Van Gogh. We never do it. We never say, well,
his sunflower's a bit off, right?
It's a little bit.
No, but it's funny because I saw 1 and 2 on the small screen, so I'm so excited to see it on the big screen.
I've never seen it on the big screen.
No.
Oh my God.
But the second one I saw mainly because my son said he liked it better, so I watched it. And I thought they were equal.
2 is a very good film.
And then everyone swore me off at 3, like, oh, you can't see 3, it's the worst. And I'm really?
You got to go to Godfather school. I don't buy that because there are too many good things that are still. Okay, I'm gonna watch it. And you're of literature, you read a lot, so there's a lot of a Shakespearean tragedy in 3. Oh. So it's not Coppola missing. It's the fact that he goes in a direction. He doesn't have Duvall in 3. Right. And anytime you lose Robert Duvall, one of our greatest living actors, we still have him, thank God. I know. And you have Pacino finishing the greatest part in the history of film never to win an Oscar. Yeah. That part of Michael Corleone might be the greatest role of an actor outside of Hamlet. They always say theater's Hamlet. But think about that role. When you think of that guy, Midnight Cowboy, come on. No, Dustin. Oh, that's Dustin. But they wrong. But okay. No, sorry. But they often get. You're right. They often get. They get compared like that. No, but in a lot of ways, they were like the poor man's Dustin Hoffman was like Pacino. They were like. That's true. I'm sorry. They were the same. As a kid, I did that all the time. Right. And I love Hoffman, and they're both short in stature. Right. And they're both New York. Although they're not New York. See, I did it. Hoffman's from L.A. Is he really? Pacino's from Pacino, and that's the interesting thing about Midnight Cowboy that you brought that up, is that John Voight is a New Yorker from Yonkers. Okay. And he plays in that Midnight Cowboy. He plays the Texan. Oh yeah, he does. And the California boy plays the New Yorker. Hey, I'm walking here. Right. And you think that he's like you feel like what's his name is a New Yorker. Yeah, doggone it. He's the same. He's like a Jewish New Yorker. Yeah, same generation. That's a great generation of actors. Oh yeah. That's amazing. It might be our last great generation. I don't look at. Although we just let's dovetail into a little bit of. We talked about a film where we're both. It's just almost like Tarantino's here with us because he would love this conversation. Right. I'm seeing now Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I saw it for the first time, and then I saw I snuck my head in and I watched about an hour and 20 minutes of it.
Right.
And I know that I'm going to put it right there. I have a love-hate thing with him, and the hate is on the violent side. It's like,
right.